Hello, and welcome to the obligatory review of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5. I'm going to start this out by basically stating that this is my opinion, and if you like games that are horribly underproduced and shouldn't have hit the market when they did, then this is definitely the game for you. If not, stay tuned and listen to the review. So I'm going to start with the visual aspects of the game. They went with like a pseudo cell shading art design to it, which is kind of pleasing, to the eye. It kind of, makes sense. Like, it's not horribly realistic, but it still has a hint of realism, so that you still have that kind of familiarity with it. It kind of strikes home with being, quasi realistic. Which also fits the scheme of the game, because the game is horribly unrealistic. For instance, right now the board is electrified. There's electricity running through that board. Now everybody knows, you got an electrical board, you're kind of fucked. Let's be honest. If you were sitting there on that board right now, you would get electrocuted. So that being said, this game is not about the realism. This game is about the fun and the tricks and the trying to bring back that whole Tony Hawk multi-million point combo, which it does pretty well. It's a great casual game. It's got a lot of good things going for it. As far as that goes, it does bring back memories of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 and everything, like when you're in the university and you're just ripping out combos on the trash trucks and everything. It kind of brings you back into that stage. For those of you guys that aren't old enough or haven't played it, yeah, that was a while ago. But yeah, so the visuals, they did a good job with that. In kind of conveying that the game wasn't supposed to be super realistic. It's not as serious as Skate is. It's not all about the technicals when you're getting the game going. It's all about the fun that can be had, and this is a fun game. Don't get me wrong. Like I would not rate this game highly, but it is fun. So it does have that going for it. And the visuals. Sorry to relay my point, but the visuals do back that claim up. Like, it is fun, and this is me 10 minutes trying to get this fucking thing done. 10 minutes of recording at least. You guys are going to see another point. The game is glitchy as fuck. This is the start of the video. Same mission. You're supposed to stay in that pool gap area, right? You're not supposed to be able to leave that area. For some reason, I bailed into the pool, and I'm out here. And that's when I started recording, because I was like, okay, this is weird. I should be in that pool, but I can't get back. So I was like, okay, well, I can't get back that way. Let me try over here. Maybe if I combo into it, maybe. Nope, invisible wall. You shall not pass. This is the dark wizard speaking, or sorry, the gray wizard speaking. You shall not pass. Like, okay, understandable. Games have bugs. Games have glitches. But that's kind of the point. We haven't seen a Tony Hawk game in years, and this is what they're giving us. They're giving us an unfinished product. Even Thug, Tony Hawk Underground, what most people started off playing, because most people are now around the age of 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, that age range, and that would be the first Tony Hawk game they played. I played the hell out of that game. It was fun. It was inventive, and it had that sense of, this is a Tony Hawk game. The massive combos, the awesome soundtrack. And that's the one thing that sucks about making YouTube videos and streaming this game, is I get to listen to the soundtrack like maybe out of the 15 hours that I played so far, I've gotten to listen to soundtrack for maybe 20 minutes, because I was either recording or streaming it, and you can't record or stream the soundtrack because it's copyright. Yay. Stupid fucking rules. But it does have the same soundtrack. That little bit of time that I got with the soundtrack, it's still a Tony Hawk soundtrack. It's still got that, I'm gonna put some black eyeliner on and I'm gonna go, fucking kill my parents, for lack of a better term. Like, that's You know, it's the Tony Hawk soundtracks have always reminded me of that age old anthem of like the Sum 41, the Fat Lip, like that brings to mind like the perfect representation of the crowd that music was geared to for the soundtracks. But yeah, so the soundtrack's still there. It's for all intents and purposes, it is a Tony Hawk's game, right? It's still got that little grunginess to it. It still has, you know, the massive combos of it, as I've stated earlier. However, it's not fucking finished. It doesn't have the polish that all the other games had. Um, I remember there were a couple glitches in Thug, but those were, you know, minuscule. Like, you know, you had to happen upon them. Like, you had to do a bunch of crazy shit in order to get them going. I just bailed in the pool, and you know, I got glitched out of the map, and that's happening on a couple other missions too, and some other maps. I just wasn't recording at the time, and I didn't have enough time to pull up the recording software and you know still get into it. But my point is they've given us an unfinished game. Now, normally you would think that if you know you went to Taco Bell and they gave you a 5-layer burrito and they didn't put that bitch in the presser and they didn't heat it up, you'd be kind of pissed, and you would make you know some sort of stink about it, at least you know just a little bit. But so far, I haven't you know heard of any major outcry that you know, hey, finish the fucking game before you bring it out. You know this is ridiculous. This is bush league bullshit. Like Activision should not be doing this. And I kind of understand why they did it. I mean, their contract runs out this year. They literally have 2 months to have the proprietary rights for the Tony Hawk's games. So this is obviously a last-ditch effort to, you know, kind of monetize, you know, the behemoth that Tony Hawk Pro Skater is. Because I'm 26, and even I didn't play the original. I know plenty of people my age did play the original. I just didn't have the hardware when I was that young to actually, you know, be playing video games like that. But I know there's plenty of people that did. So in the past, you know, 20 years, they've had, you know, what was it, like 9 games? Yeah, I'll go through it later. But I think I'm right on the money with guessing 9. I'll double check my facts and figures later. And if you guys really, you know, want to keep me on point, go ahead and put it in the comments. But you can't stray away from the fact that this is an unfinished game. This is just like the Order. Like, the Order has, like, what is it, 4 hours of playability to it? That's bullshit. For a $60 game, that's fucking retarded. That's like, okay, let's see, 4 hours, $60. Yeah, $7 an hour. That's the worth of that game. And I can't remember who said it, but somebody else said that they value a game based upon how much money per hour it would cost. Like, for instance, something like The Witcher 3, which has hundreds of hours of gameplay, and it's only like $6. It's like somewhere in the cents per hour. Like, that's how much it costs. And they're like, that's a fucking great deal. Yeah, that's how we should rate our games, because our games, you know, should be played more than just, you know, the fucking 5 hours it takes to complete the campaign and be done with it. Like, that's ridiculous. And this isn't new. Like, this releasing this bullshit, like, you know, buggy fucking not finished product is not a new thing in the video game industry. It's been happening, you know, recently, thank God, not throughout the entirety of, you know, video games. Otherwise, we'd have some much bigger issues than, you know, maybe a little bit of a buggy game. But it has been happening frequently enough that it needs to be addressed. And hopefully, when people realize, because I highly doubt a lot of people saw the trailer for this game and were like, I have to get that, because the trailer looks like shit. Honestly, the trailer for the game looks like absolute dog crap. Definitely didn't, you know, prescribe me to buy the game. The reason I bought the game is because it's a fucking Tony Hawk game, and I've been playing Tony Hawk games, you know, pretty much all my life since I started gaming. Like, it's one of those series that's near and dear to my heart, and so I was like, you know what, I got to play this game. I got to pick it up. Another thing, Like this mission right here, this mission that I wasted 20 minutes on, is literally about knocking balls out of a pool. Again, when I said, you know, there's no realism in the game, you shouldn't be shocked. But seriously, knocking balls out of the pool, and then you throw a football in there, like, are you retarded? Footballs do not roll the way other balls roll. Like all these other balls, they roll, you know, in a prescribed fashion because they're round as fuck. Throwing a football in the mix doesn't quite make so much sense. Like I can understand, you know, outside there's a spot where you can kick a ball, and you do that because it spawns in the middle and you just hit it and it goes through a goalpost. And you're like, oh, I'm Vinatieri, yay! But in this pool, it just makes absolutely no sense. You have to hit them like a certain way, and it's just ridiculous. Like, ugh. I understand. It still goes into the ludicrousness that is the Tony Hawk series, and you know the Tony Hawk's missions have always had this hint of, you know, unrealism, like knocking balls out of a pool. But still, like if you're gonna come up with, you know, a little gimmick, because this shows up in more than one level, you're gonna come up with a little gimmick like that, you might as well work on the mechanics of the gimmick. Like, come on. So if I had to give this game a score, I would honestly say that this game will receive about a 3 out of 5. 3 because it still plays like a Tony Hawk game. The controls are amazing. The controls are still there. The engine works well. It's just the bugginess, the kind of awfulness that is some of these missions, because these missions get grindy. But that's understandable, because unless you're like the greatest player at fucking Tony Hawk's, you're still going to be grinding. Like that, we still saw that in 2. We still saw that in 3. If you were trying to get better, you were going to grind, and if you weren't getting the missions right off the bat, you were going to end up grinding. Like it was going to happen. So that's why I didn't rate it any lower. That being said, it's still a fun game. So if you can find it on clearance, or you know, you can steal your brother's copy, I would highly suggest you do that, because it is a good game to play. It's fun. You know, it has all that awesomeness that Tony Hawk games have. I just wouldn't, you know, knowing what I know now, I wouldn't pay $60 fucking for this game. No fucking way. So yeah, yeah. If you agree with the review, if you don't agree with the review, leave it down in the comments. Let me know what you think didn't quite fit your bill as far as comfortability. Words. Comfortability. Yeah, I made up a word there because I don't quite know the giant fucking white version of the word. But yeah, just leave it in the comments. If you do like this video, leave a like. If you don't like it, leave a dislike. But please, if you leave a dislike, put some constructive criticism in the comments so I can know what you didn't like about the video, and then I can work on fixing it. See, that's the way constructive criticism works. You say something, and then it gets done, and then you say something else, and then it gets done. So that being said, I love y'all, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hang out.